Hello, everybody, and welcome to Belly Up Sports TV and 3 Wide TV for the ERSCA series here from 1989 Texas Motor Speedway. And if you did not see the latest press release, this will be the final race with the car of tomorrow. Dom Santina up here in the booth, not with David Westergreen. David wanted a chance to get in here and race this car one time, so we're going to bring Matt in the booth. Matt, how you doing tonight?
We're tickled to death to be here. Thanks for having me, buddy.
Yep, Matt Brinson joining us here in the booth tonight. Matt, what do you think we're going to see here tonight? You think we're going to see some good racing here at the ERSCA series?
I think we're going to see some good racing. So this is the Legacy Texas. It drives a lot like the old Atlanta. Plenty of opportunities for passing. COT cars run good here. I think we'll have a good show.
Yeah, so if you did not see the press release, COT will end this week, and we'll go back to the Xfinity car, which we had last week, starting next week. So little change here in the season. Just too many drivers not liking the setup with the COT car made Series President Johnny Thomas have to make the decision. And Johnny thought about joining us in the booth here this week as well, but he's right in the middle of a points chase as well. And that's one thing the COT car has done, is kept the points tight. I believe we're in the middle of qualifying here. We're getting ready to go to it in just a minute. Cameron Rich does come in as your points leader on the season, having 2 good runs, and we're looking at him on the screen right now as he's trying to put in a qualifying effort. Mark Whitley sits atop the charts right now. Rich looks like he's going to come in 3rd quickest. Just looking through the list here. Leininger sitting 5th quickest. Moberg, Lytle sitting 3rd quickest. Steinmiller in the top 10. Lutz, Crump. So a lot of very familiar and top talent here in the ERSCA series. Sitting up here with good qualifying runs to start, which could make it interesting. Here's one of our top points leaders right now, Kwame Scott. I believe he's sitting 4th in points. Coming through, trying to take a qualifying run. Bogard, Zishan Duran, Ethan Burrell all on track right now for their qualifying laps. We're looking at Zishan right now. Gets a little loose there out of the corner. Has to woe it down. Looks like he's going to be done with his qualifying run. Nick Massey's 11th quickest right now. Johnny Thomas 13th. Nick Delicato sitting in 16th. Kwame Scott qualifying 25th on the charts right now. James Heater out there for his qualifying lap as well in the 18. Ethan Burrell's called it his qualifying run to put his qualifying run to an end. It looks like that's going to do it here. Matt, don't be afraid to chime in at any point throughout the race. You're more than welcome to push in any thought you might have or any comment you might see out on the racetrack.
Time to turn fast and go left, boys. Got to make the show.
All right. Looks like this is going to be a race here. David Westergreen, our very own David, sitting there on the pole. Seth Rawls will start 2nd. Michael Goodman, Jared Mogard, Robert Hill, Andy Trupiano, Josh Adams, Harry Talon, Jack Eli, and Wyatt Nadel. All getting ready to roll for this one. Andy Trupiano outside the points right now. outside the top 10. Top 10 get in on points, and we have 2 wild cards taken by winners right now as it stands.
All right, guys, my mic is hot. Let's do something fun for this heat race. It's very short. I believe everybody's gonna make it in on time, so I'm gonna go ahead and actually bring up David so we can talk to him while he does this heat race. Go ahead and bring him up. David, you get a copy?
I got a copy, man.
Hey, we're gonna be
All right.
talking to you while you're racing in this heat race.
This is a terrible idea. Let's do it.
All right, David, we let you have some fun, so you got to tell us, maybe not exactly everything you're doing throughout this thing, but tell us, how, you know, you've had a chance to kind of feel this car now. We've had you up in the booth. We've talked about it. Has it been everything you've expected it to be?
It is a handful to drive, and that's going to make it, I think, pretty fun. See if I can get a little jump on him here. I don't envision I'll be able to hold him off for very long here.
Looks like you got Moberg coming down to the bottom here real quick.
Might be the most TV time the old 81 gets today.
Oh, I'm not even looking at your car.
Dang. It is
What?
very, very tight in the center. And then off the corner, it just gets real unstable in the rear.
Oh my goodness, you let it
All right.
off.
2 to go. We got 2 more to go.
Open into one real bad. But I think Moberg followed me in there too deep.
You're all right. Still
Don't
good.
look back.
Yeah, I'm running. Couple
Oh,
of guys got
Moberg's.
a lot more experience with this car in this 00 and the 02. We're just
The
gonna
05 is wrecked in the back.
work
Robert
right
Hill
next to
Jr.
him there.
Robert Hill has gone around in the back of the field. White flag in the air, though.
On Moberg.
Oh, he's got a nose in there.
Oh, he's gonna run him. Let's see if we can get him. Oh, nope.
Keep it clean.
Oh, hit the wall.
Going
This is
down
your
the
chance.
track.
Driving it in there.
Side by side, coming to the line here. David might be able to get second out of this.
We did. I think we
Come on,
just got
David.
him. Ooh, that was
You
pretty
suck.
close. That was pretty close. Told you,
There's
we can run this green flag
There's-
out the whole time.
unfortunately, David, iRacing saying you got third.
Yeah, you got
What?
third.
Mine says it's
Yeah.
got second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
0.093 to 0.094.
Have you tried reading?
Well, either way, you're in the show. That's all that matters. Good luck out there tonight.
Thanks, guys. Hope it's fun up there. Call me up anytime. We'll try to do the little Wally Dallenbach idea here, and you know we'll see where we're at in the back. Shouldn't be too fast, but maybe they'll wreck a lot, and we'll be able to dodge it.
Yeah, just try to stay out of trouble as much as you can.
All right, I moved him. All right, I'll let you guys get back at it. I'm gonna go ahead and make my mic cold again as we go out into the qualifying results.
All right, so appreciate Carlos stepping in there and helping us out, bringing David into the booth. We'll go through the qualifying results here for this one. Mark Whitley will be your pole sitter. Aaron Smith going to sit on the front row. Tate Lytle, Cameron Rich will be in row number 2. That is a stacked row number 2. Right behind him, Damian Leininger. Well, Damian, this might be your night tonight. Hopefully I'm not jinxing you too early. David not up here in the booth with us tonight. If you've been following the ERSCA series, anytime David is in the booth, the 12 car has the worst luck possible. Matthew Bayuk is starting 6th, Steinmiller 7th, Ryan Lutz will start 8th, Scott Crump getting a good qualifying run in 9th, Jared Rexing will round out your top 10. A couple other notable names, James Heater, Nick Massey will start 11th and 12th.
Wesley Crump starting 13th. Johnny Thomas 14th. Joseph Causey in the 15th position. Nick Indalcado starting 16th.
Looking through as well, Richard Hines, Joe Francis in there will start 17th and 18th. Garion Turner has had some good runs this season. He'll start 19th. Kyle Hanshaw will start 21st. Jared Campbell starting 24th.
Definitely want to start up front. I think for this one, track position is going to be key here. Tire conservation is going to be another key. Last thing, your piece of the puzzle is going to want to stay out of trouble.
Absolutely. Some big names in the back here, though. Zishan Duro, Jared Mogar, Josh Adams. You had Andy Trupiano back there, Ethan Burrell. There's going to be a lot of guys coming from the back. Kyle Hanshaw's, we're going to go green.
Here we go.
Mark Whitley to the race lead. Aaron Smith has been one of the guys that have really good qualifying runs to start the race, but hasn't been able to necessarily stay up front too much. Tate Lytle jumps out of line. He's looking to go after Cameron Rich early. He'll take the third position away. We'll see if the 56 hasn't been able to get to victory lane yet this season. But you got to feel like he's going to start to push the issue a little bit here. See if he can get up here and get himself a win before we get rid of the COT car. Damian Leininger slots into the 5th position. These guys being aggressive early. No one really holding back right off the start. Steinmiller got forced out of line there for a minute. Looks like Jared Rexing did as well. Mark Whitley already starting to expand the gap here a little bit over Aaron Smith and Cameron Rich. '77 car might have some speed here today. He's looking pretty solid off the start. We haven't seen many races where the leader's been able to check out. Right now, that's starting to try to be the case here for Whitley. Look at Joe Francis, Jared Campbell right now, Matthew Weeks. Some of the guys starting deeper in the pack, trying to make their way through.
All right, Matt, I'm also going to be joining you guys in the booth at least for a short while. I'm in a very giving mood. I've been sick for the last couple days, and it's now where I'm starting to feel much better. So, this is the last race of the COT era. Unfortunately, it didn't seem like it was just a very successful experiment, but we knew the risk, or they knew the risk going into this. But with this being the final race with the COT car here at Texas, what are you guys expecting is going to happen in this race? Let's start with you, Dom.
I don't think we're going to see too much different than what we saw. These guys might be a little bit more aggressive, maybe trying to pick up that last win. It's still a car that's got a lot to handle. It's a very tough car. You know, Johnny talked about it in his press conference. We've talked about it here in a few weeks. They tried to put the car that the drivers had to handle and had to race their own, and it hasn't. Obviously, we said the experiment didn't work out very well, but that doesn't change the fact, even at a new racetrack and that we're changing cars, that it's not going to be a handful here tonight. So look for some cars getting loose a little bit. These guys having to fight the race car and really manhandle it here around Atlanta, but still going to produce some great racing that we've seen throughout the season.
Well said. Matt, what about you? What are your thoughts into this?
Last race with the old car, you got to go out there and get it done. There's nothing on the line other than points, but bragging rights for the COT, man. I just go out there and let it eat.
Yeah, well said, my friend. Now, we did not get the chance to do this before the race began because we were just a little bit behind schedule, but only 8 laps into this race, no one's had any issues. Why don't we go ahead and get our picks of the race in? Matt, since you're joining us in the booth here as a guest, why don't you go ahead and give us your pick of the win?
Easy money's going to be on that 77. That car is well out front right now, and he's got it down. I'd say he's pretty well on his way to having a good race, and that's going to be my pick tonight.
All right, Dom, what about you?
I'm going to look at a guy that's already started to make his way up through the field a little bit. I'm going to go with Ryan Lutz taking the win. It would be the first repeat winner of the season.
Interesting. All right, well, my pick is going to go with the guy who's already improved one spot from where he started, and that is number 47, Cameron Rich. He's currently third, and I think he's going to get it done. He's looking for some vengeance after losing the race on a possible jump to restart. Although, in his own words, he probably expected to lose regardless. So Cameron Rich hoping to get that Richmond win in here tonight at Texas.
All right, well, that's a big shock there from Carlos, taking Cameron Rich. Got to stick with his guy, though, and he's been the most accurate out of any of us here the last few weeks. Rich picking up a win at Sonoma, coming second last week. Cameron Rich is definitely on fire of late. Carlos has picked him the whole time he's been here. Why not ride with him while he is hot? See if he can get up here and battle for the win here with Whitley. Already 11 laps out of the 120 into the show tonight. Kind of single filed out. The guys were aggressive in the first few opening laps. Now have got into a little bit of a rhythm, and it's turned into a single file race around the racetrack here through the top 10. Try to go through, see if we can maybe find a battle somewhere around the track, but it looks like these guys have kind of settled in for a little bit and ready to ride a few of these laps out.
Yeah, I'm
guys
sure
are a lot smarter than I am. Right now, they're just probably thinking tires. That's going to be a big thing moving towards the middle, long part of the run. You got to make sure you're there at the end.
Yeah, and you wonder with last week we had 20 cautions in the race. Guys maybe started off a little bit aggressive to get into a position, but now maybe trying to just handle this car one last time, see if they can put one good final run in with this COT car and try to survive this one. Clean up the racing a little bit. As you see Moberg, I'm looking back here in the back a little bit, got a little loose coming out of the corner, almost lost it, but kept it underneath him.
It's a little odd to see Moberg qualifying so far back. We saw him in the heat race, which means he was one of the guys that were towards the back of qualifying. That being said, though, he has improved quite a drastic amount. He's already up 13 spots from where he started tonight's race, and he's currently in 22nd place. So y'all can do your math right there. Yeah, so far, I'm sure these guys don't want a repeat of what happened last week. Although the cut was blamed a lot, as well as some of the drivers, it's also an anomaly. It's something you're gonna find with most leagues where they all have just a relatively bad night, and of course, with it being Richmond and having a wall glitch didn't help out. But tempers got hot, drivers got impatient, and they all paid the price for it. Today, Texas is a new race, a new day, a new way to start fresh, and have these guys trying to kind of redeem themselves here. And so far, 15 laps into this race, they're all doing a pretty good job, albeit they are very cautious. Matt, anything you're seeing on your point of view?
Cameron Rich made a good pass for P2. It looks like he is starting to gain on that 77 a little bit. That's going to be someone we want to look at. Looks like he's got a quick car underneath of him.
Like we said, Cameron Rich maybe has figured out this COT car better than anyone else, and he might be one of the few guys that don't want to see this car go away. And he's looking to put one more win and bank some points here before we make the transition. One question that might come up from fans that didn't know about the transition, the points will stay the same even with transferring over to the new car. Nothing's going to swap, so points of this after tonight will stay the way they are as we head to the Xfinity car. So guys trying to get some extra points that maybe have a handle on this car better than the Xfinity car, like maybe Cameron Rich, and there's Carlos throwing them up on the screen. So Rich is your points leader over in Delicado, Scott, Francis, and Whitley. Your top five, so two of your top five here battling for the race lead. Tate Lytle, Ethan Burrell, Hank Steinmiller, Campbell, rounding out your points there. So you have to see it on the screen. That's where they stand, and like we said, they will carry into next week as well. But the gap is definitely starting to close here for Whitley out front. And with that being said, Smith is starting to fall back to the rest of the field as well. Hank Steinmiller has come up to the fourth position. He's looking to try to close in on Smith for that third spot. Hank's a guy that's also had a really good run in this COT car, and that's one of the things David and I have said is it's opened up the door for some other guys that maybe struggled last year or new to the series this year to have good runs with this car compared to the Xfinity car.
Call it a wild card maybe, but a lot of guys don't have experience in that legacy COT. It's something different. That's what you're seeing these first couple races this season, shaking things up a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely there, Matt. It put a wrench into these guys. Some guys took to it, some guys did not. So we're already a sixth of the way in here, 20 laps in. Good to see a good, clean 20-lap stretch here, and we'll see, continue to watch these group of cars right here that's kind of stacked each other up as they close in on your third-place driver of Aaron Smith.
The good thing with
Mark
these
Whitley, don't look back now, but Cameron Rich is coming, and he's coming in a hurry.
Yes, he is. That gap is closed, and closed in a hurry, down inside 0.3 of a second. Cameron Rich is starting to come after on the attack of your race leader, Mark Whitley. Keep an eye on this battle. See how long it takes Cameron Rich. It's one thing to catch a guy. It's a whole nother thing to try to pass him. See if Cameron Rich can get it done.
20 laps into this run, and we're starting to see some of the drivers get separated from the pack. This is when we're going to be seeing the majority of the drivers either thrive or struggle. Not many people usually practice more than 5 or so laps in a row, or consecutively, I should say. And I would say a good number to shoot would be 20, especially at a track this size. And with a car like this by yourself, the more consecutive laps in a row you run, theoretically and more than likely, you're going to be faster in a race per se, since you have the experience. So now that we're hitting the threshold of now a short run going into a medium to long run, this is the time where we're going to be seeing those drivers who did practice start to move their way up, or make it known that they actually have a semblance of an idea of what's going on. And some of the drivers who maybe only ran qualifying laps or were never able to get a good stretch of laps by themselves kind of dip back, maybe realize that, oh, I really can't be doing this here. And then you'll see some mistakes being made, and this could be a good time to see maybe a self-spin or a caution involving a checkup or something. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. But 24 laps into this run so far, and we're seeing a good battle here for the lead, and there's other battles maybe beginning to form up as well. So Matt, Dom, we've talked a lot about this being the final race of the COT era, but now we're going to the Xfinity cars, and you mentioned it, but I'm not sure if we actually specifically mentioned that it was the Xfinity cars we're going to. But going into next week's race with the Xfinity cars, what are you guys going to be expecting? We'll start with you, Matt.
Well, I would look at the guys who were strong last season in that B car. Those would be my immediates for who I would want to keep my eye on. A lot of guys who are struggling in the COT, this is their chance to maybe regain some ground in the point standings, put some consistent runs together, put that behind them. It's a new start. It's a fresh slate. We'll see what happens, but it's go time for sure if you're back in the points.
Yeah, I think you nailed it right there, Matt. And you talk about some of those guys that looked really strong. You know, names that come to my mind: Ryan Lutz, Ethan Wuerl, Josh Adams, Nick Massey. Some of those guys have had decent runs or good outings. Tate Lytle you can throw in the mix as well. Guys that maybe have had a decent run here, top fives, maybe up to the top 3, but haven't been able to break through and get wins or had that solid performance week in and week out that we were used to seeing last season. One guy that I don't think it's really going to affect too much, and with how solid he's been in the COT, might really help him down the stretch, is the guy that's challenging for the race lead right now. I think he's sitting in the catbird seat. Cameron Rich, already feeling good about how the COT was, and he was one of the guys that was contending for a championship last year until the end of the season. Some things didn't go his way, but he could definitely be one guy that might be looking good here and feeling confident heading into that Xfinity car next week.
Talk about being in the catbird seat. Cameron's definitely putting the pressure on right now. I think he's got a better car, possibly the 77. It lit him off too early. Cameron Rich is gaining, and he's definitely there.
It just seems like a calculated, smooth attack here from Cameron Rich. He's just very patient right now, just ready to just each lap biting into that lead a little bit. He's not in the mode where he's got to be aggressive to get this race lead. He's willing to drag this out and just bide his time until he can get that race lead. And Carlos, I know you've been chiming in here, but I don't know. I've started to draw in my mind here, especially during this one, that Cameron Rich is almost looking like the pace that Ryan Lutz was having last year, where just every race he was dominant, he was out front, he seemed in control, and he was never really pressing the issue. He just always seemed relaxed behind the wheel and knew that he had the better car week in and week out.
Yeah, and I think the transition from the old COT car into the Xfinity car, the current one, will probably actually hurt Cam's chances at a championship. Not saying it's going to remove him entirely. And no, I think he's definitely, like you mentioned, a championship contender. But I just think that he has a real advantage with this COT car compared to with the Xfinity car, at least from what we saw last year. So while Cam will still be able to compete for the championship, I just think it's going to be a lot harder for him to be able to get that win. But, it's still early in the season, and, it's been a while since he's been on the Xfinity car. So, a lot of things can change. Maybe we switch on over to Xfinity car and he's still just as fast or even faster. So, only time's going to tell in this case. But right now, I think Cam, either maybe he's burned his tires trying to catch up to Whitley, or he's just staying behind him to toy with him, or maybe just save tires, whatever the case is. But right now, it seems like Whitley looks like he's going to be holding on to a lead for a lot longer, and Rich, whether it's the tires or he's just trying to hang back, might just be comfortable hanging out here in second.
You said it best, Dom. It's one thing to catch someone, and passing them is a whole different beast. These COT cars, you get a little bit of air push when you get behind someone. He might be fighting that. He might just be smart, waiting for his hole to where he can safely pass Mark.
Yeah, absolutely there, man. Just kind of playing the game here with Whitley. And I mean, we're only a third of the way into this thing. There's still a lot of laps left. We're going to have pit stops, a lot of different opportunities here for Cameron to try to take over this race lead. So it could be a factor of things here playing into his mind here. And he definitely, as a points leader, Whitley up there in the top 5 as well, doesn't want to ruin either one of their chances here trying to do something too early and maybe take both of them out of the race, especially with how the COT car handles and how loose it can get. Don't want to get together and end their nights early by doing something too aggressive here just 34 laps in.
Already 34 laps in now. 35 coming in here very soon. The battle for the lead looks like it's stalled. We do have some lap traffic coming up, but also just want to take a moment to thank tonight's race sponsor, Manscaped, as well as giving a little promotional code that they are offering. So, if you use the promo code BellyUpFantasy, you'll get 20% off your next purchase at www.manscaped.com. And up here in a little bit, I'll have the promo code up on the top ticker. But I personally have not used Manscaped, so hey, Manscaped, if you ever want to send out like a little test sample or something, hit me up. But I don't know if you guys have ever used it, and if so, what's your experience with it?
Sounds like it's a good time for me to clean up and get a razor.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about it. Never used it, though, but we appreciate them sponsoring it out, and I know that's Johnny Thomas. He usually runs the Manscaped paint scheme on his 83 machine. There it is right there. Carlos pulling it up for you.
Unfortunately, Johnny may not be having that best of times right now. Has dropped 8 spots from where he started tonight's race, currently in 22nd spot. So that could just be, signs of a maybe slightly ill-handling car for the first run, but could turn it around. Still early on in the race. Less than 90, less than 90 laps to go. in this relatively short 120 lap race. So far so, well, maybe so far not so good for Johnny Thomas, but for overall competition wise, it's so good. And specifically for that 0-0 of Jared Moberg, it's been a while since we talked about him. Currently up 17 spots, up in 18, so he is trying to make a comeback. Although I guess technically it wouldn't be a comeback because he never started up in the front. But trying to go from the back to the front, and Jared Moberg, I would say probably around halfway there.
Oh, we've had some developments since we last talked about it up at the front. You got Hank Steinmiller in third, but Nick Indelicato is on the march to the front. He's up 12 positions, got around Tate Lytle, and now he's looking to go after Hank Steinmiller here for the third spot. That 0-1 car has found some speed, and he's starting to make his way through the pack as well. And he will clear Steinmiller there out of the corner. Crossover move by Steinmiller. Down the backstretch, not going to be able to make it work, and Tate Lytle going to poke his nose in to see if he can get anything in there. Won't be able to. Door's going to slam shut. See if Nick Indelicato can go run down your front two now. All right, we're a third of the way through here in this one. Matt, some drivers got to start to consider coming in for tires and gas, don't you think?
Definitely. If you're in the back of the grid, or if you're struggling right now with the Delta, you've got to consider coming in for tires. Take a shot. It looks like everybody's running pretty civil. I don't know if we'll get that caution.
Oh, Rich!
Oh.
And there he comes. Cameron Rich is going to lock it up, and he's going to come down pit road. One of your front leaders. First one to come in. Oh, he spun and just brought it down, Carlos.
He's got race damage. Look at that. He's got damage on the right front.
So a big development there for Cameron Rich. Having some trouble. Smith going to come down pit road as well. He's falling through the field a little bit. Here comes Indelicato. Hank Steinmiller going to come as well. So Cameron Rich, whether he prompted it with the spin or was trying to get onto pit road. The leaders starting to make their way through now down to pit road. Mark Whitley has still stayed out. Tate Lytle is in second. And Scott Crump has held on for third. These three guys staying out here just a little bit. Sorry, Matt, go ahead.
We've got some more fellas coming in. It looks like pit road is open for business.
I want to apologize. Cameron Stone did not spin. That was smoke from a different car. The 47 just he actually went down pit road perfectly fine. It looks like he smacked the wall at some point while we were not focusing the camera while he was up in race speed, but he did not spin out going into pit road, so I want to retract that.
So throughout the season, we really haven't seen that much of a difference in tires with this car. It's maybe been some minor gains here and there, but if you just saw that, it's the first time. We've seen it really in the Xfinity car, and we'll get used to seeing it, where tire wear is really a big factor. But if you just watched Cameron Rich just go around Tate Lytle, he just blew the doors off Tate Lytle. So these guys, I think, are going to have to come down pit road here soon. Otherwise, they're going to start to lose some very valuable time to these guys that just came down pit road. Looks like Johnny Thomas is in. Kyle Hanshaw is coming down. Carlos is on top of it there, getting Hanshaw coming down pit road. Scott Crump, Bayou, Keeter, Massey, Kwame Scott, Campbell, I believe, have all still stayed out. Cameron Rich, maybe Andy Trupiano in that mix as well. I believe is the first one on fresh tires, 17. So he's going to start to make his way through the pack.
Ooh, too much for the 03.
Dylan Thomas overshot his pit box. Oh, there's contact there on pit road. That's Gerald Mogart, or that's Campbell. Gerald Campbell that had some trouble coming onto pit road.
Tell you what, for a race like this where we stay green, that is going to be what destroys you. You cannot make any mistakes right now.
No, absolutely, Matt, and it'll be interesting, especially as these guys try to start to pick their way through traffic on older tires. Sometimes that can lead to cautions as well. We'll have to see. These guys are going to have to be careful getting through here. There's Rich right now coming up on Kyle Hanshaw. Scott Crump down pit road. He'll give up his position.
Matthew Weeks.
Weeks coming down pit road as well.
There's Trupiano.
There's Trupiano coming down. So some of these guys, Cameron Rich up to 14th. Sorry, Carlos, what were you going to say?
That's all right. I was just going to say, Matt, you've had some experience with these COD cars. From what you can tell in maybe similar tracks, how much of a difference are we going to be expecting to see those guys who came in early compared to those guys who are staying out and coming in now?
It's going to be a night and day difference. At this point in time, 45 laps on those tires, you're going to be losing a ton of time staying out on old tires. You kind of have to do what you have to do for strategy. You're hoping for that caution at this point, but you got to ask yourself, is it going to come?
Well, I know right now, if you're Mark Whitley, I think, Carlos, you have to stay out at this point. You know, we have those halfway point stages. We don't really have a stage, but we give out halfway points. And you're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place right now. We're coming to complete lap 50 next time by. And you got 10 laps to the halfway point. Almost everybody behind you has come and got tires. There's a handful that hasn't. But you almost feel like you got to stay out and try to collect these points now and maybe split it into a one-stop race.
If you can make it 60 laps. Okay, well, based on your experience, Mark, do you expect these guys to pit for tires or pit for fuel?
I think if you're going to go this far, you might as well get the tires because those
Oh, no, I meant to say, you're going down pit road because you need fresh tires, or you're going to go down pit road because of the fuel?
I think I would run the fuel at this point in time, just run the gamut and let that tank run empty.
Well, Mark, either his car doesn't have what the capacity for 60 laps, or he's just choosing to come down pit road right now. Hopefully it is the latter, because then if it's, hopefully it's the latter, because if it's the, I'm stupid. Go on, ignore me.
I got what you're saying. I think you were getting there at Carlos, because if he was trying to make it a two-stop race, he's not going to have enough fuel to make it to the end, trying to stay out another 60 laps. So hopefully he was just deciding that he was giving up too much time and was going to have to come down pit road. Otherwise, really lose out on the battle here, as we saw Whitley come down pit road. That'll turn the lead over to James Heater, who needs a good run up front here for a few laps. He's been struggling. And Nick Massey, a guy that's been quiet today, has had a couple good runs throughout the season, but nothing outstanding. In second right now, Matthew Bayuk. Josh Adams, who has just had the worst luck of anybody in this series, is running fourth at the moment. So a couple guys that may be trying to catch a caution out front, staying out here for a few more laps, or maybe trying to push it to get to that halfway point. I guess this will really give us a telltale sign if they can make it 60 laps.
You guys want to know something real interesting? The first driver currently who would get the lead if the rest of the drivers come to pit road right now actually would be Cameron Rich. He's currently 7th and is the first driver of all the drivers who have gone down pit road right now.
You want to know how much the new tires help you? He is a second and a half faster than the leader right now.
And he's got damage.
That's a big difference. Kwame Scott sitting in 7th right now. Carlos, has he come down pit road yet or not? Or is
no,
he still on
has
old
not.
tires?
He has not gone down pit road yet. Right now, in your top 10, only 4 drivers have actually gone down pit road. That's Hank Steinmiller, Jared Rexing, Nick Delicado, and Cameron Rich. All the other drivers in the top 10 have yet to go down pit road.
You can see there in that bottom camera view of the multi-view, we had Scott queued up there, and you just saw how fast those cars are just blowing by him on the inside line. That's the difference right there in new tires compared to old tires.
Not only that, but it's also very dangerous. This is where a bunch of cautions can happen when you got that mix of drivers with fresh tires and drivers with old tires. I've seen it, and I've been involved in it. As you got a driver going sideways, gonna do a fantastic job saving it.
That's Ethan Burrell that's launching through the infield there. Great save, as Carlos was describing, to keep that car straight, keep it going, and not bring out a caution.
And it looks like we're gonna stay green.
I'm gonna see if I can pull up a replay. You guys go ahead and talk for me.
Yeah, Carlos gonna go back to his production here for a minute while he's joined us up here in the booth. And see if he can cue up what exactly happened to Ethan Burrell. I'm guessing he probably just got loose coming out of the corner. Maybe got some
It's
help.
exactly
Yep, there we go.
what I
We
was
talked
talking
about
it. Oh
exactly.
man, I should be laughing.
Almost on cue, Carlos.
Wow, what a fantastic job by the 37 to keep that car straight all throughout the hops and with the grass. So great recovery effort by the 37. Unfortunately, he's going to lose a lot of time, but fortunately he doesn't have a wrecked race car, and also I don't think he got any damage out of that.
You'll live to see another day for sure. That 37 car, well done.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be all right. So lucky break there, but here he comes down pit road. Ethan Burrell going to come get some fresh tires after that not so fun ride through the infield, and Cameron Rich is up to third. He's picked his way through. Indelicato following in tow. There's just Nick Massey and James Heater left, and there's only another lap or so until we hit the halfway point. So it looks like these guys may not be able to hold on to the top spots, because here comes Cameron Rich to the inside.
Wow.
The difference in speed right there lets Cameron Rich just blow by Nick Massey and James Heater in the same corner. And
Do we know what positions Heater and Massey were at before pit stops? Because if they were running in the top 10 or something, and they're gonna drop back before the rest of the drivers pit again, then this is a failed strategy. And it just seems to me like right now that these drivers, it's going to be more beneficial to pit when the tires start wearing out than it is to pit when you're out of gas.
I think, Carlos, they started just outside the top 10. I think they started 11th and 12th. So they've picked up a couple spots.
Yes,
nothing,
so far they're good.
Yeah, nothing too dramatic. And we'll see James Heater now comes down pit road. So I wonder if that was a play to try to get some bonus points there. Heater will get second place points. Massey will get third. So with Heater coming down pit road, I'd expect to see Nick coming pretty soon as well. And it might be coming this lap.
Yeah, not sure why he stayed out. But yeah, this also proves that they can make it on this final stop. So provided that there is no caution, which hasn't happened yet this season, but tonight would be a great time for that. We're not going to be seeing these guys go down pit road the rest of the night. Of course, like I mentioned, provided that there's no caution.
I think, Carlos, that would be the only way that this really works in their favor, is if they can come down pit road, not pit again, and know that everyone else is going to have to come back down pit road.
It would also be a very poetic end to the COT era, that's for sure.
Yes, it would. It would be a fantastic way to wrap this one up.
You gotta love it. Lap 63, no caution, all kinds of strategy has been thrown out into the mist.
Yeah, definitely. Always love green flag stretch racing, because we don't want to see caution after caution on the racetrack. But then, like you said, Matt, everyone coming up with their own strategy, maybe on the fly, maybe changing things up from what they thought was going to happen and what their game plan was going into the race. And now here we are, 65 laps in almost. And we're halfway through this one. And guys now having to come up with new strategies for what they're going to do.
An amazing drive by all of these drivers here so far in the Manscaped 180. And, well, normally there is I believe, $10 or $20 payout for the winner of a race here at the ERSCA Cup Series, ERSCA Belly Up Sports Cup Series. However, because this is the Manscaped 180, Manscaped has actually generously donated a full-on 4.0 shaver set for tonight's winner. So tonight's winner will be able to shave a lot about themselves with relative ease.
Look at that. We appreciate Manscaped not only for sponsoring it, but for throwing out that prize bank. Definitely didn't have to do that. And I'm sure whoever it is will be very grateful to pick that up here tonight.
I want to talk about a clean win. That's going to be a clean win right there.
Very aerodynamic.
Cameron Rich trying to set sail right now, though. He's got almost a second lead over Nick and Delicato. Here's 67 laps in. He's back out. Well, he is out front. He hasn't been out front yet. And he's pulling away by roughly a tenth a second a lap.
No, and Delicato's been gaining on him.
Oh, sorry, Delicato's closing a tenth of a second each lap.
Yeah, and Delicato's actually running a faster pace than Cameron Rich is. And it seemed like whatever pit stop strategy was done with Cameron Rich, his approach to the entry of pit road and his stall was much faster than that of Delicato, considering the fact that Delicato actually came in a lap earlier, so theoretically should have been even further away. But unfortunately, because of the damage or he's been taking it easy, Cameron Rich has been slowly losing that lead to Delicato. As Delicato is, that is not Delicato, not side by side next to him. It's actually a lap down vehicle trying to get this lap back. But is the car right behind him, that black and purple one? So last lap, actually Cameron Rich pulled away slowly, and it all got negated this time by with Delicato being 0.125 faster. Sorry, I'm struggling here with my math tonight. But it's interesting to see if this is just pure raw speed that Delicato has an advantage on, or if it's Cameron Rich just taking it easy. Because if that's the case, then when Delicato reaches Rich, it'll be the same situation of what we saw when Rich was behind Delicato. He wasn't able to get past him for whatever reason. So if that's the case, then Rich may be able to hang on for a lot of laps, I should say. Matt, what are you seeing on your end?
It's a cat and mouse game at this point in time. Right now, the name of the game is pace. You don't want to run too fast and burn up your equipment. You also don't want to give up too much to your opponent. Lap 70, we've got about 50 laps left of this deal. It's going to be so important from here on out how you pace yourself and run this race.
And I think you bring up a good point there, David and Matt, both of you, about the pace, because you saw that Cameron Rich,
Did you call me David?
While Carlos was talking, caught Josh Adams and was looking to put him a lap down. Adams got on the throttle a little bit, started trying to race Cameron Rich, and I think Rich backed out of it and said, you know what, I'm trying to put you a lap down. You're not a concern of mine right now. And didn't feel like wasting his tires trying to get around a lap car. So he's settled in. And with him backing off a little bit, maybe Delicato's pushing to try to get up here and challenge for the race lead, and might be using his stuff up just a little bit.
The question that I have is, are these guys going to be able to make it to the end? You almost have to be inclined to think that they've got another stop.
I would think so. Cameron Rich came down on lap 40, which would, I mean, if he's trying to make it a two-stop race, would mean he'd be thinking about coming down here in another 7 to 8 laps, splitting it up in 40-lap segments, which would make it interesting because we saw Heater and Massey try to make it a one-stop race. So that's where if we continue to keep this thing green, and you saw Rich just getting way out of shape there, almost get into the wall once again, it could really make it fun to call the final few laps here and see whose strategy works out the best.
I think we may have ruled out the fact that those two drivers that did make it halfway and are planning on making this in one stop, while the strategy could work in gaining them a bunch of position, I do think at this point it is unlikely that they will be able to win with that strategy. But hey, you know, if you're running out at the top 10 and you're able to secure a top 10 by staying out, then I call that a victory in its own.
Looking at James Heater right now, position 22, he is on the lead lap. In theory, if the cards all play together, there could be a play, but once again, like you said, it's very, very tough to make that work out. We'd have to have this race run green the entire way through.
Yeah, absolutely. And then it's just a matter of fact of when do these other guys come in for pit stops. And if you're James Heater and Nick Massey, you got to hope they stay out longer than lap 80 or so, because I feel like the longer the other guys stay out might actually benefit you, because the more time that the less laps they have on those fresher tires to run you down is only going to benefit you more, because there's going to be you already have put 20 laps on those tires compared to when they come in, let alone if they come in another 20 laps from now, you're going to have 40 lap older tires. So the longer these other guys stay out, other than Heater and Massey, is only going to benefit them more.
And wow, what a tale of two races so far. At this point in the night, I think we were probably on the same amount of laps run. The only difference being is that we've gone caution-free here, and this is a much bigger racetrack. So far, these guys all doing a phenomenal job, as we've seen a close call here and there, but we're not out of the woods yet. We got drivers on different strategies. We got drivers who came on pit road, different times, different sets of speeds, different levels of tire wear for the drivers. So we're seeing these type of situations where we got lap traffic coming out here and outrunning these top two drivers. We could still very well see a caution as Nick and Delicato looking to the inside. Is going to back off, trying to be safe here this time by. And Dom, I think we're going to have a battle here.
Yeah, and he just got really loose there when he closed up on the back of Cameron Rich. That car darted to the inside, and I think that's why he had to back off. I don't know if it was some dirty air or what it was, but that 01 car almost took a turn to the inside wall. But here he comes. He's going to mount the attack once again, and that lap traffic, I think, slowed up Cameron Rich, allowed Delicato to close in, and here he goes. He's going to take a look to the inside. Nothing quite there yet. So we close in on lap number 80.
Oh, we got a couple of drivers going down pit road. Matt, who is that?
Looks like
Robert Hill Jr. looks like.
Yeah, that's who I thought it might have been coming down first.
Also, in the meantime, Tate Lytle has just gotten past Hank Steinmiller for third place, although they are about 3 seconds as Nick Delicato has the lead. How did this happen?
He went to the outside this time, and Delicato going to get around Cameron Rich, and now...
And Rich pit road.
Yep, there he comes. I was going to say, here he comes. Cameron Rich going to come down pit road, and that might have been why Delicato got by.
That's a good plan. Cameron Rich probably called it out saying, hey, I'm pitting this time by. Or maybe didn't. I don't know. The guy right behind him could have taken that advantage as well. But, yeah, smooth entry for Cameron Rich, Hank Steinmiller, Jared Rexing, and Ryan Lutz. All of these drivers going down pit road right now. As long as Cameron Rich doesn't mess it up. Nope, he got a good entry into his stall. We may see him pull away to another significant lead that Delicato may have to chase back in as he's down pit road.
Yeah, here he comes. And Delicato down pit road. That'll hand the lead over to Tate Lytle. And we'll see what Tate does here. Seemed like it took him a long time to get around Hank Steinmiller. Don't know if he was just content to sit back there and ride a little bit.
Oh, no!
And Delicato blew through his pit box there. That's going to be a big mistake. Oh, Whitley just got massively loose.
Wow, we almost had a caution there that would have saved the 01 there.
He chased that thing all the way down the racetrack. Finally got a hold of it.
Talk about that's your hopes and dreams almost out of the window right there.
So, pit
So
stops.
there you go.
Heavy underway. I apologize. Go on. It's your call.
Well, I was looking. I guess he's up to 6th. James Heater, first one to come down. The last one to come down in that first set of pit stops, besides McMassey.
Oh,
Up to
no,
6th caution.
caution!
Big wreck in turn 3.
This will change everything.
That's Chris Wuerl and Aaron Smith getting together. Wuerl went for a tumble through the corner, and of course Carlos going to dial it up. That does not look like a fun ride for Chris Wuerl.
He's going to wish he had a Balls energy drink waiting for him after that one. That's a tough ride.
Yeah, get that Ben some balls.
Probably
Go
going to
on
put
board
a
the gyro.
end of the night here for the 06.
You know, that's just gotta absolutely destroy you. You know, you run a long race like this, lap 84, you're just kind of settling yourself in for the end. Then it's all over.
Matt, what did you see there? Was that an overcorrection? Do you think you made some contact? What do you think happened there?
Take a look here and see. It looks like he's getting into turn 3 right now. He's right on top of the 70 car. I think they're going to touch right there.
I don't think he knew
Yeah,
the
looks like
70 was up to speed. Wow.
Oh no, Damien's right there too.
He may
Damien
have
plowed
net-coded through
right
it, though.
in, right into the 06, trying to come off pit road.
Oh no, he's
His
got
bad
heavy front
luck
damage.
just continues to happen.
In the meantime, we did have drivers going down Pier Road, so we'll go over that once we finish off this replay, which is now. So,
Well, this is a completely different race, boys.
yes, it is. Yes,
Yeah,
it
this
is.
changes everything here. Especially for those guys that was hoping this was going to go green to the end to get that long green flag stretch.
So we did get drivers trapped a lap down because of that, and I believe some of those drivers involved, Cameron Rich, no, I guess not. He is on the lead lap. Let me see who is not on the lead lap that maybe should be. Is no, I can't. Look, I don't know. I guess the majority of the people did stay out. Good news for Hank Steinmiller. He's now third after pit stops.
Got a lot of guys up front here who have not been up front the whole race. We also have some guys in the back who we know are fast. It's going to shake up the restart a little bit.
So I'm saying 30th and back, a lap down or more. So actually, the majority of the drivers were able to get back on the lead lap, but still, a lot of strategies got ruined. For example, Cameron Ridge, currently 15th. Let's see. Johnny Thomas in 8th. He benefited from that as well as Jerry Moberg. Who else? Nick Delicato. We saw him mess up his pit stop really badly. He is second. We got
Carlos,
one green.
did Tate come down for tires, or did he stay out?
He went down pit road in lap 83, and he took tires.
So he's got some fresh tires up there as well. So should be good to go. Tate looking for have a strong run up front here. first time. We're going to get ready to have a restart here tonight. Tate Lytle, Nick, and Delicato going to lead us back to the green flag.
Pace car's off. Let's go ahead and get it done. Good start from Tate.
Steinmiller wasn't able to go with him. That'll allow Delicato to split down underneath. All right, Matt, we've seen the guys be very cautious here for the first 80-some laps. Now the first cautions come. We're inside 40 to go. Do we start to see them be a little bit more aggressive?
You've got to go. If you're in the back, you've got to go. If you're up front, you've got to go. You know you can make it from here. There's no more saving. I think you've just got to do what you got to do to get the job done.
One car that was up front early, we haven't really seen him up front since. Mark Whitley into the 4th position. Just made the pass on Steinmiller. See if he can get back out front. He looked strong early before that the first round of pit stops. He was your pole sitter. We have 30 to go now. Jared Rexing, who we haven't talked about much at all tonight, sitting in that 3rd position in between Delicato and Whitley. Trying to play spoiler a little bit.
And we've seen Rexing have some bad luck these last couple races. So it's nice to see him running back up front. And, you know, I'm a little biased, mostly because of the fact that I kind of grew up with that paint scheme of that 07, that Nesquik scheme. Seeing that back in the Xfinity Series, driven by the 10, I believe that may have been Scott Riggs. I'm not too sure. I was a wee kid, but I remember because I had that diecast for some reason. It was an Xfinity diecast. I had it, played with it a lot because it was my only diecast. So very sentimental to that paint scheme. So it always brings a smile to my face when I see that car running up front.
Let me tell you, no one's on the gas right now like Mark Whitley. He just drove around Rexing. He's making his charge to the front right now. Battle for the race lead. Here comes Delicato inside Tate Lytle.
You'll love to see it. This is going to give the 77 some advantage here. He's got a big run on the 56 going into 3.
Blocked by Lytle. Chases Whitley up the hill. You wonder if Delicato was watching his mirror a little bit, seeing Whitley start to charge through the field and knew he was going to have to make a move if he wanted a chance to win this thing.
I'm watching my mirror the entire way right now. You definitely have to do what you have to do to keep that track position.
Herman Rich trying to move back from the sub 15th position that he restarted in currently in 11th. But unfortunately, as much as I always root for my boy Rich, it just seems like this caution came at a very inopportune time. And I just don't think he has enough time to get back up in front and compete for the win tonight. For sure a top 10 though.
Gonna be pretty tough. It looks like the pack single file, maybe some error push going on right now.
Couple guys that needed a really solid run here tonight, and that caution helped out a big time. Josh Adams sitting in 9th and Matthew Weeks sitting in 10th. A couple guys that have not had a good run at all this season, and we got another caution on the racetrack. That's Gerald
31.
Campbell into the outside wall.
Not quite sure what happened there. I'll see if I can pull up a replay. Does anybody have his running order? I see him 32nd right now. I believe he's 1 lap down. So that is not helping his cause. Let's go ahead and take a look and see just what happened. Ooh.
I'm inclined to think he got a little bit of help there. He sure did.
Oh
from the
my!
84.
Robert Hill
not see
just
that
got
one.
destroyed in that accident.
And people are down pit road again. I'm going to quickly look at this car flipping over, and then we're going to switch on over to the pit stops. My goodness. that is unfortunate there for Robert Hill.
Call it a night. You're not coming back from that. That's a tough break.
Everybody went down pit road except for Josh Clark.
All right, so Josh Clark rolling the dice here. I have a feeling this isn't going to turn out very favorable for the 28 car.
Wouldn't want to be out there on the old tires, but you got to do what you got to do to get yourself up there, and applaud his efforts to do something different. I don't think that would be my call, but we'll see.
So, real interesting. Cameron Rich decided to stay back and repair his damage. I do not think that's the right call at this late stage of the race, or especially once they get single filed and it starts to come harder to pass. Cameron Rich now drops all the way down to 26. So, interesting strategy. Getting that damage repaired, maybe it was hurting him a lot more than he wanted, but I just don't think that may have been the right call. As Josh
He
Clark,
must
I
have
think,
seen or felt
Nope,
something,
never
you
mind.
know, that maybe we didn't see, and that's entirely possible.
yeah. I thought that was Josh Clark going down pit road, but no, those were just the drivers that were stuck a lap down behind Josh Clark, who have elected to go down pit road since they will not be getting a free pass. So, apologies for that. Josh Clark, your current race leader. As Dom, why don't we see if we can pull up and talk to somebody, maybe Nick Delicato or Josh Clark.
What about me?
What about you?
Oh, David thinks he can just pop in the booth and get interviewed.
I'm the only
No.
one who can.
David,
No, man,
you've been quote unquote sucking eggs this whole race. What's going on?
I haven't been sucking, but I did screw up and speed on pit road,
Ooh,
which
that'll get you.
eliminated the good finish, the all likelihood of a good finish. But I have had a blast. This has been super fun, and I don't. It wasn't the car. You guys can kind of see that, man. This has been great racing. It's been a lot of fun.
But there's
Well,
been a
like-
lot of single file racing. A lot of the guys have been really unable to do anything. What do you think causes that? Is that sort of like an aero push track type deal?
It's Texas, man. That's exactly what Texas is. We kind of knew it was going to be one single groove coming in here, and it sure has been. The bottom's really good. You can kind of ride up the top on older tires and get a run off the corner, and I've been utilizing that. I was utilizing that to pick up spots early in the race, but since I've been a couple of laps down because of the speeding penalty, it's just kind of been catch-up mode. So I just came up to say I am having a lot of fun, and I am sad that we're getting rid of the car.
Well, I know David and I have talked with Johnny, and we were sad to see it go. I'm pretty sure Carlos is in the same
Yeah.
boat as well, but it's obviously Johnny's got to do what he thinks is best to keep this series alive, and he ultimately made that choice. But we're definitely sending it out with, I think, maybe the best race of the season. Just on the level, how clean this race has been. Really, even the two cautions haven't been anything too horrific, just little mistakes here and there. We're getting ready to wrap this one up. 23 laps left to go, 22 to go back green. Josh Clark, can he hold out front? Those old tires. One, can he hold on? Does he not spend them on the restart? Clean launch here, and Tate Lytle's going to get a great restart on the inside. Josh Clark just going to be a sitting duck here off of that. Lytle to the inside, and Delicato's going to go by him. Here comes Whitley. Ryan Lutz in there as well. Clark took his shot. It's not going to stick.
There's only so much you can do on them old tires, and I applaud him for making that effort to try something different. I don't know that's going to win him the race.
I think we're going to have a four-car battle here for the race win. Tate Lytle and Delicato, Whitley, and Lutz ready to do battle to win this one.
I wonder just how Nick Delicato feels. I mean, he had the race lead on that last green flag run before the caution came out. and everybody went down pit road again, and now he's having to battle his way back up to the front. If it's not one of those Cameron Rich Tate Lytle Toyotas from days gone by, then it's the other, because now he's just trying to pass for the lead again, and I'm sure with 20 to go, stakes are getting higher, and stress factors are also climbing through the roof.
I tell you, I wish I was in that top 4 right now and nowhere else, because behind them it is a cluster.
Yeah, and these 4 have just blown away from the pack back there because they're side by side and battling. That helps these 4 run away and hide here early on. Maybe let them settle it between the 4 of them, as long as we stay green. But with the way they're racing back there, that is not a guarantee.
About to say Josh Clark's still in the top 10, but well, actually, yeah, he is still in the top 10. He just moved back up to the top 10, and well, probably lost it again. But I'm a little shocked. I would have expected him to drop further back with those old tires. But hey, kudos to Josh Clark, hanging on in that top 15 area so far. And well, based on where he qualified, he's currently up 15 spots.
Doing a good job of holding on to his position, but I tell you, the guys behind him are not a fan. He's holding up progress.
Yeah, he might get moved here eventually at some point. And Delicato taking a look to the inside of Lytle for the race lead. He's going to dive it on in here on the inside of the corner. Side by side for the race lead.
Oh,
Nick
they're
and
wrecking.
Delicato
Caution's out.
going to drift up the hill. He's got it. Almost opened up the door for Whitley to come take advantage, and we got a caution.
I saw these guys going 4 wide, almost 5 wide after a major checkup, and the 20 got turned around, and unfortunate for Aaron Smith, he had nowhere to go in that situation, and he's lost quite a bit of time as well as gotten heavy damage.
I think that was a byproduct of the slower car. There's
Wow.
not much you can kind of do but check up, and you get a car on the apron like that, it's never good.
That was Garen Turner that originally got turned and tried to straighten it back out right there in front of Aaron Smith. Brings out our caution. Here we come down pit road.
Half the
Tate Lytle,
field.
Mark Whitley, and this is where it's going to decide it right here. And Delicato, Lutz, Rich, all staying out. Mogard, Crump.
11 drivers
Francis, so
stayed
it's
out.
about, yeah, Carlos saying about 50-50 here. Ethan Burrell, who we mentioned had that wild ride, but now finds himself inside the top 10 in the 6th position here. Going to have a shot at it. Kwame Scott, Nick Massey, Cameron Rich. I mean, these are some big names that decided to stay out here. It's going to make it very, very interesting. Matt, you have to wonder, when Lytle came down pit road, he thought maybe more would come with him.
Absolutely. I mean, you're kind of hoping that everybody else is going to be taking tires with you. Now you're stuffing in the back of the field with only 10 laps left on a track that's going to be tough to pass at. It's going to be difficult for them.
Not only that, but the tires haven't really been raced on that much. Right now, it's a 10-lap difference between the top 11 and the rest of the field. However, you also have to understand, 2 of those laps plus another 1 lap were run under caution conditions. 1 lap was run getting up to speed, and the other, I want to say less than 6, probably 5 laps of just green flag racing. So yeah, there is some wear, and they are going to be slower than the fresh tires, but I don't think that was the right call. I do think that it just hasn't been long enough for these drivers to suffer the tire wear issues and have them drop to the back to the ones who went down pit road. So unfortunately, I do think that Tate Lytle is going to gain some spots, maybe get in the top 10, but I don't think he's going to be able to get a win now.
I think you're absolutely right there, Carlos. I think your battle for the win is going to come with these front guys right here. And look for someone like maybe Scott Crump to be aggressive, or Jared Mogard. These guys looking for a win, trying to help out their playoff chances that haven't been too successful so far. They might be a little bit more aggressive than Ryan Lutz and Nick Indelicato, although Indelicato still trying to look for that win that he hasn't got these last 2 seasons.
You want to talk about aggressive? That gentleman in second place is going to be certainly aggressive on this restart. We haven't seen a lot of Ryan Lutz today, but you definitely will see him now.
Could make for a very action-packed final few laps up front. A lot of guys looking to pick up a win. Ethan Burrell in that mix, Nick Massey as well. Can't count out Joe Francis either, tucked there third on the inside line. He'll restart 5th.
I think you're going to see something that we haven't seen all night long.
Only 3 drivers in the current top 10.
Matt?
Oh, I'm sorry, go on.
Something wild. Going to turn them loose and see what they've got, but it's definitely no holds barred now. Pace car's off. We're going racing.
Here we go, Nick Indelicato. Ryan Lutz going to lead it. Indelicato gets the big lead. And a good launch here on the restart. 12 to go. Lutz will tuck into second. Mogard's got third. Battle for 4th here between Francis and Crump. Burrell in the mix.
Turn 3.
And we got a wreck. And first pile up here in this one. Bayuk involved. I believe that's Hanshaw as well. Josh Clark getting into Kyle Hanshaw, and then Garen Turner and Matthew Bayuk just having nowhere to go. Got to wonder there if Hanshaw didn't know if Clark was that, thought maybe he was clear, tried to come down the track a little bit, or sorry, that wasn't Bayuk that was involved. That was his teammate.
28 car just getting a little bit of a touch there. I think they're just running hard their last couple of laps, but that never was going to work.
That was Seth Rawls involved in the accident, not Matthew Bayuk. Rawls in the 02. As we mentioned last week, Rawls and Bayuk running very similar paint schemes. This will take us inside 10 to go here. Matt, now you got to feel like you've kind of made your bet with not coming down pit road last time. Definitely not going to come down this time, right?
No. I think you're content with where you are and you're focused on doing what you've got to do to make some moves, man.
Two restarts in a row now. 2 restarts in a row now for Nick Indelicato, where he's going to have the lead. And we saw how good he took off in this last one. And the question is, you know, Ryan Lutz, Jared Morgar, Joe Francis, they've seen what Nick can do, or possibly what he can do here on this on a restart. Do you think that maybe they're going to be a little more competitive here on this restart coming up here?
I think seeing him go as well as he did, you've got to be competitive. You've got to line yourself up to go on that green flag. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to get him.
You guys see anybody possibly being able to challenge Indelicado for this race lead? Should we go green the rest of the way, or do you think Indelicado is going to be able to just bring it home in first?
I think to Matt's point, if somebody can go with him on the restart, like Lutz or Moberg, possibly, if he gets another jump, I just don't know if there's enough laps. They might be able to catch him, but as we've seen, other than Indelicado, no one's really had an easy time passing for the race lead. So, I don't know. My gut feeling is saying no, Indelicado, if he gets the launch, has got this one.
They'll be coming up on the 1 to green here this time by. It's going to be real interesting. If it is 1 to green, we're going to be restarting with 7 laps to go. That should be enough time to give us some fun battling for the lead or other higher up positions. But if you're another quick caution, we're going to be going into a green-white checkered more than likely. As lights are off, we're going to be going green next time by with 7 to go.
Boy, I'm glad I'm up here in the booth. This is about to get wild.
It's going to be a fun one to wrap it up here from Texas. Who's going to come home with the final win of the COT car here in the ERSCA series? Will it be Nick Indelicado, Ryan Lutz, Jared Moberg, Joe Francis, Scott Crump, Ethan Burrell? We're about to find out. Base truck gonna get ready to pull down pit road. Gonna turn him loose one more time here, hopefully in the Manscaped 180 from Texas. Delicado gonna make him wait this time. Moberg got a decent launch behind him. He's gonna get to the inside of Ryan Lutz here. Question is, can we keep it clean for the next 7 laps?
No one played him like a card. They're great restart. He's going to pull him by a couple of cars.
Delicado might have. Delicado got the best of that deal, but Jared Moberg might have been a close second. He launched right with, and Delicado able to jump up into that second spot. Now the question is, he's got 6 laps to try to run him down and pass him. Can he get it done?
Got to run the cleanest 6 laps of your life because it's going to be pretty tough. Otherwise, you cannot make any mistakes.
Battle going on back behind the front 3. Ryan Lutz is in 3rd. Scott Crump, Ethan Burrell, Kwame Scott battling it out. Trying to see who can take home the 4th spot. Crump throwing quite the block here on Burrell.
Big trouble at the start-finish line. That's going to be a bunch of cars wadded up.
Cars flipping everywhere. Vincent Isabella going for a ride. I think Trupiano either was involved or went low to try to avoid that. I believe that's Dylan Thomas we're looking at right now. Yeah, Dylan Thomas got turned, goes down into the infield, hits Johnny Thomas, and Johnny goes flying across the racetrack. Unfortunate break there for Johnny and his race-sponsored Manscaped car. Takes a couple of shots. That's going to put an end to his night.
Manscaped that infield. That's a tough ride for Johnny.
Here we go. We're going to go on board. I believe this is Trupiano. Or is this Johnny? No, this is Andy Trupiano. There's Johnny flying through. Trupiano got into the outside wall, came down. Luckily avoided hitting the inside pit wall.
Wow! What
Did he hit
a
him? I don't
lucky
think he had any
break.
damage from that.
It's Dallas Myhan driving through that mess right there.
Most of the time, netcode's gonna really mess up your day, but today, my hand is gonna be praising netcode. Wow.
That was his own teammate too. That was Matthew Bayuk that came down the track, and somehow Myhan drives through that, doesn't pick up any damage, and is able to continue on.
There we go. On board, Johnny Thomas, one of the 2 cars that flipped over.
This one's gonna be a crazy ride, folks.
Oh, did I hit the wrong thing? I apologize. I hit the wrong lap.
All right, here we go. Trying to avoid it, just gets clipped, and no time to brake at all. On the roof, on the window net, not a fun place you want to be. Finally settles down and evaluates the damage. Gonna call it a night here tonight. Be rough on his championship hopes as well.
Evaluating some life decisions there. Unfortunately, there's not much you can do when you get to be in a position like that, right in the middle of that mess. It's game over.
Matthew Bayuk there with some heavy damage. Looks like Dylan Thomas might have came down and just got into Vincent Isabella a little bit, and that's what started all of it. We were looking at the replay there. Here's Josh Clark.
Wow.
Oh, just barely misses Johnny there. Great driving there by Josh Clark to avoid all that. Wow, right there. Just barely.
Threading the needle, you gotta love it. Great piece of driving from him.
There you go. Just see that little slight contact. Thomas came down. Isabella got into him, and then it's just pile up after that. What should set us up for a green-white checkered finish here. Lights still on the pace truck.
Let's bring in Johnny Thomas, the league owner, as well as the driver whose sponsor on his hood is the same as the sponsor for tonight's race, as well as a freaking flyer. I've been told. Johnny, how's your head?
Hey. I lost you there though, Carlos. But
how's your head? I'm assuming
I didn't make it.
You didn't make it.
No, I'm a ghost.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear
This
that.
is Johnny from the afterlife.
Well, Johnny, big difference night and day from this race to last week, and you had you were in a good position there to get a decent finish, but unfortunately, it looks like tonight's not going to be it again. But why don't you give us your quick thoughts on how tonight's race has gone?
Yeah, I mean, as far as a competition standpoint, outside of me, I thought this was the best race of the year. Daytona was exciting, but as far as cleanliness, the guys really racing each other with respect. It was a fun event. Like you guys have probably mentioned multiple times, this is the last time we're running these things. But looks like we're gonna have a little green-white checker with Indelicado and Moberg up here, first and second.
Johnny, I think this proved, I know we've had chats previous between us and the booth here, but I think this proved that it could be done, that we could run a clean race with this car.
It can. Yeah, we're going green here. Let's see who can get it done.
That one's got another great jump on the field. Fantastic restart by Ned.
Johnny, I know you've been busy with your own race here, but Nick's been out front the last few restarts here. He's really looked strong. It seems like whoever gets the restart, really nobody can run him down and get by him, as we have another caution.
Yeah, the bottom lane is just so, it's dominant. I feel like it's a super speedway at Martinsville. Once you get up top here, you're done. Looks like Harry just got taken out there by the 12 car.
Johnny, and Matt can probably, and Carlos can probably chime in on this as well. I really think all these cautions here late in the race are just because we're getting to the end of the race and the aggression's ramping up. It's not anything out of the ordinary, just guys trying to fight first positions, getting desperate here late in the race.
Yeah, this is just a normal league race, normal, racing event in general. Real life or the sim racing world, you guys see it every Sunday when there's a late race caution, you get more. And we saw it here. I mean, we had to run, 80, 85 laps. So we were, turning towards a caution-free race, which would have been crazy, considering all the things we've been through this year. But yeah, this is just the product of the late race restarts and the green white checkers.
Great point,
I believe
Johnny.
We should be going.
Go on.
We should be going to overtime right now, Carlos.
Well, we already had an overtime attempt. Wasn't that the first overtime?
That was overtime attempt number 1. This will be number 2,
Yeah.
the final one. So these guys got to get to the line to make it official. But if the caution comes out, it's over.
Johnny, would
We
you
have
be
seen
willing
that
to
happen.
kind of replace me so I can go back to concentrating in the...
Yeah, I'm good to go. I'm good to go up here in the booth.
Thank you so much, Johnny's Afterlife Ghost. Why don't you go ahead and talk about tonight's race sponsor, Manscaped,
Yes.
and their 4.0 racer, as well as their promo code, and what that entitles all the viewers who tune in tonight. As I'm going to sign off.
Yeah, Manscaped, Belly Up Sports, like I always mention, Belly Up Sports has jumped on for, since we started in ERSCA, and they bring so many cool partners, one including Manscaped. It is one of their new shavers. The winner will actually get a Manscaped prize package. We will not be giving out the normal 20 to win tonight, but we're going to give out a prize package that's worth about 70 or 80 bucks. Manscaped is partnered with Belly Up Sports. If you go to manscaped.com and you order a product, type in the promo code BellyUpFantasy, and you'll get 20% off your order for any product you order off a Manscaped website. I have a couple Manscaped products myself, and they work fantastic. Dom, Matt, you need to purchase them.
Oh
Get
yeah.
on there. Matt, how you like being in that booth?
Man, I tell you what, the seat's comfy, the food's good, the racing's been great. We're gonna have a twofer right here, boys. Tighten them up.
Carlos makes you food?
Yeah, man.
Dang. One thing I wanted to mention, I mentioned it to the admin chat. If Indelicato wins, that'll be 7 winners in 7 races. That'll be a record. For the first, 3 years we've been around, we haven't had 7 races and 7 different winners. So that'll be pretty cool. I know you got some hungry guys there with Lutz trying to get another one. Moberg trying to get another one. Ethan is up there. He hasn't won yet this year, but a lot of hungry guys up there. Scott's had a rough year so far. Kwame's had a pretty good stretch. And Cooper Johnson's having a pretty good run as well.
Yeah, we haven't got to mention him at all yet today. Good job, Johnny, bringing him up. Cooper Johnson sitting back there in about the 7th position.
Just a testament to the quality of the competition that you've got in this league, this ERSCA league. A lot of good guys here, and that's shown 7 different winners in 7 races. That's incredible.
See Delicato pull it off. As far as consistency, I've looked at Nick as probably him and Cam and Tate have been the best with these COT cars, managing traffic, managing how they race around guys. And they've been the best at this, and it's showing here with Delicato up front. Tate's having a good run. He got mired back in traffic with that pit strategy. But other than that, we're gonna see what happens here. This is the last green white checkered.
We already had 1 race this season end on a caution in the final restart. Hopefully not have to see that happen again here tonight. Pace truck going to pull down and away. Ryan and Nick going to launch. Once again, that 01 gets a great launch over Ryan Lutz.
Nasty restart by the 01.
Moberg going to try to take that 2nd spot away from Ryan Lutz and will do so.
Crump. Who's that last guy? So Ethan's the last guy on the top lane here. See if he can get down with Crump. Crump's not going to let him get down. Oh, he does.
Yeah, now Kwame Scott's stuck up there, trying to fight Crump for a spot, and Tate Lytle, who snuck down to the bottom as well. Well, we got to the white flag, Johnny. We finished this
Oh,
one.
my Lord.
Well,
We made it. We made it, though. We can keep going.
Yeah, don't know who just went to the top of the catch fence,
That was
but
Joseph Causey, I think.
the white flag had already come out, so Nick Indelicato has been dominant all day.
Moberg's got
He's going to be able to finish this off the right way. Here he comes out of turn 4. Nick Indelicato is going to make it 7 winners in 7 weeks as he wins at Texas.
Well deserved. I tell you what, he won that race on the restart. He got 3 fantastic restarts.
One thing we're going to miss about the COT cars is the wrecks are incredibly nasty.
Jared Mogard will come home in 2nd. Ryan Lutz will round it out in 3rd. Ethan Burrell will have 4th. Scott Crump needing a well-deserved 5th place finish. Kwame Scott 6th. Tate Lytle 7th. Cooper Johnson having a good run in 8th. Nick Massey 9th. And your points leader Cameron Rich coming into tonight rounds it out in your top 10.
Yeah, I think Indelicato's going to come away with the points lead here tonight. Mogard, I mean, this guy has either finished 1st or 2nd or 3rd or 40th, 39th, and 38th. There's no in between with him. He had a good run here tonight. But guys, I got lots of work to do. I'm going to head off. Sure, Dom and Matt, you can handle the interviews. I appreciate everybody watching. ERSCA's making the jump back to the Xfinity cars, and I can't wait for that. The COT was a blast, but you know, there's a lot of glitches and a lot of errors with these things, and unfortunately we got to make the switch. But we sent it off in a really good note here at Texas. Not a lot of carnage, and a rightfully so winner that definitely deserved it.
All right, we'll let you go, Johnny. Thanks for joining us here for the conclusion of this one.
Thanks, guys.
There are your results up on the screen. Nick Indelicato taking the win. Mogard, Lutz, Burrell, Crump. We're in through the top 10 already. We'll go through the rest of them here as we kind of peek through. Steinmiller 11th, Rexing 12th, Heater gets 13th. Scroll through, Gerald Campbell 18th, Gishan Dura 20th, Trupiano 21st, Weininger finishes in 23rd. Mark Whitley, your pole sitter, who had a shot at potentially winning this again later in the race, finishes 26th. David ends up coming home in 30th. Kyle Hanshaw in 34th. Josh Adams 37th. Johnny comes home in 38th after the crash. Josh Robin and Jack Eli will round it out here tonight for our results. Let's bring in your 3rd place finisher here tonight. See if we can find him. I know Mogard's waiting on us, but let's see if we can find Ryan Lutz. Got him. I'll try to bring him in the booth here in just a second. All right, let's bring him on in. Ryan, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, man. You come home in 3rd place tonight. Seemed like it was a lot better race out here this week than what we saw last week.
Yeah, it was a good race for sure. You know, it was a really good setup, and you know, it didn't really work out to our favor, but you know, we were able to salvage something there and get some stage points and just have a solid day.
Nick was really queuing up those restarts. Was there anything on your side of things that you could have done a little bit different to maybe try to stick with him?
Yeah, I felt like if I had one more restart in 3rd, I could have hammered him down into 1 or down into 3, or tried to do something to try to win the race. But just that outside lane had no grip in the restart box like whatsoever. I don't know if it was the banking the marbles or the lane or what it was, but no one on the top could get a good restart down and really get a forward launch on the restart in the restart box and just bit us on that last restart and just were able to salvage something.
I can ask one more unless Matt has a question that he's really feeling inclined to ask. But Ryan, we're getting ready to switch back to the Xfinity car. Are you excited about it, or are you sad to see the COT car go away here?
I can't express how excited I am to be back in the V car.
Obviously, the defending series champion here in that car last year. Before we let you go here tonight, who do you have to thank out there on your race car for helping you get up here in a third place finish tonight?
Yeah, actually, going back to the same scheme as we were in the championship year last year, but just David Leininger and Backflip Podcast, Ryan Kuhn, Setup Shops, you, Dom, Matt, Carlos do a great broadcast. Just everyone at ERSCA, everyone at Apex. Congrats to Nick on a good win. He's a good guy, one of the good guys in the league. So that's cool that he was able to capitalize on a good race. And just I'm really pumped up for Dover, and we're gonna try to keep on plugging away and making the chase. But just thanks for having me.
All right, congrats on your third place finish here tonight. We'll let you go.
All right, thanks, man.
All right, we'll bring in your second place finisher, Jared Mogard. Jared, Dom up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, buddy.
All right, man. Seemed like you maybe had the second best restart out of anyone there on the start. What did you find on that bottom line that helped you kind of launch with Indelicato and get up to second?
I don't know. I think there's just a little bit more grip there on the bottom. I didn't, when I was on the outside there, I got a pretty decent restart, but felt like the inside lane was just kind of the place to be there on the restart. So I was kind of hoping for one more yellow to start third and get to second there, and it worked out that way. So I'll take it.
Kind of got helped out there with some strategy there mid-race, putting yourself up here in the front. Did you think it was going to go that way when we got 80 laps in and hadn't had a caution yet? Were you hoping for one to come, or do you think we were going to go green all the way to the end?
It kind of felt like we were going to go green the whole way. So I kind of had a game plan. I was going to try and make it to 90 and then had it stay green. And usually when we get green flag, or when we get yellows during green flag stops, usually it lights me. So it was kind of nice to be on the good side of that for a change. But yeah, that definitely helped. I felt like we were maybe a 10th to maybe 8th place car prior to that yellow, but felt like we had speed with everybody. It's just the way the strategy was playing out prior to that first yellow. It looked like we were going to be about 8th to 12th, somewhere in there.
I know it's hard to say you're going to carry any momentum into the next week with the changes coming, but still got to feel good, and maybe you can take something away here from Texas to head into Dover next week.
Yeah, this was kind of one of the better setups, if not the best setup we've had with this car. It's kind of been a challenge, for everybody, and we're seeing the results, and I feel like it's good that we're making a change, and looking forward to getting back to a car I'm a lot more comfortable in. And tonight was about being easy and saving the tires, and everybody knows that Dover's the same way. So kind of got a feel for the long runs and saving tires and doing all that. So if anything, we can kind of take that mindset and that approach to the race next week, even though it is a different car.
All right, Jared, before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to here tonight?
Yeah, I got to thank Ben at Dirt Race Central. He came on board again this year and sponsored us. I buy Power Computers, Picture Race Reports, Splash and Go Graphics, everybody for putting on this league. It's like I said, the first handful of weeks it's been tough, and for them to be able, or for them to make the change and try and get a better show for us drivers and for the fans, it takes a lot. So hats off to them, and again, you guys for doing the broadcast, and hopefully the fans enjoyed, and congrats to Nick on the dub.
All right, well, congrats on your second place finish here tonight, Jared. We'll let you go.
Well, thank you, appreciate it, guys.
That only leaves one guy left to interview here tonight. It's your race winner here of the Manscaped 180. That is Nick and Delicato. Nick, you got a copy. It's Dom up here in the booth.
I do. How you doing?
Pretty good, man. And I feel internally I've been pulling for you ever since that heartbreak last year. It's got to feel good to finally get some redemption, get a win here in ERSCA this season.
Yeah, it feels great. I mean, for some reason it's taken almost, a year and a half, but this was a track that I circled. I love this old Texas, and last race with the COT car, and we've put on great runs here early in the season. So it's definitely weight lifted off my shoulders, and I mean, it just feels amazing.
Car looked mighty fast all night long. We were talking about it on the broadcast. I'm sure your heart sank a little bit there. It looked like you had some trouble on pit road, but then maybe the luckiest break of the night, the first caution comes out and helps you out.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I was loving for it to go green. Me and Rich were out there at the front, and Rich and I put on a great battle. It was clean, everything. But yeah, the green flag run was awesome. I messed up pit road twice, so I mean, I did everything I could to lose this race. And of course, that's usually what gets me, but just got lucky today, and sometimes that's just what you need. It took a little bit longer than I expected, but overall I was insanely fast. I felt so good, and thought I could save tires better than most, and it turned out great in the end.
Well, I'll tell you this. Oh, go ahead, Matt.
Nick, you won this race off of consecutive restarts. You really put the hammer to them getting to the green. How did you do it?
Yeah, restarts, to be honest with you, it's something I don't practice, but it's something I do pride myself on. I feel like I can get through the gears better than a lot of people, and I mean, it's just consistency, being able to put down a restart, time and time again. And, with the way these green white checkers have been going, when it comes to the COT car, you need to be careful, but also be aggressive, and I got that done.
All right, well, you get to say you're the last one to claim a win here in the COT car, and you make history tonight. First time Johnny mentioned that we've had 7 winners in 7 weeks. So congrats on your win here tonight, Nick. Who do you have to thank that helped you get to victory lane tonight?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'd love to thank Shift Esports. I mean, they've done a lot. My teammates, you see them in the pink cars every week. And our main sponsor, the Mohawk Foundation. These guys, I mean, they help us out a ton, and they're great. They jumped on board this year, and they're a great cause. So go check them out. Go donate. Support the cause. It's something that does mean a lot to me. Along with that, shout out to Seth Rawls. He races in the series, and he has his own design company. He makes all our paints. They're insanely nice every week, week in and week out. And especially with the new B car coming up here next week. Other than that, I mean, thank you guys for putting on a show every week.
All right, well, congratulations. We'll let you go celebrate your win here tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, that's going to wrap it up here from Texas. Matt, Carlos, any final thoughts before we call it a night?
That's a fantastic way to ship out the COT. That was a great race. Anytime you get a long run like that, you love to see the strategy play out. We did have a couple cautions at the end, but for the most part, that was a fantastic race. Just really vouches for the quality of the ERSCA.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. I don't think it could have gone much better other than going green, but rarely does that ever happen. So it was a great race. Carlos, we appreciate you not only behind the scenes with 3 Wide TV, but also stepping in here to the booth a little bit and helping us cover the race while David was out there racing with us tonight. It's going to wrap it up here once again for Belly Up Sports, ERSCA, and 3 Wide TV. We appreciate everybody that tuned in. We'll see you back here next week at Dover with the Xfinity car on the racetrack. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in tonight. For Carlos, for Matt, I'm Dom Santino signing off. Have a good night, everyone.